Hello, my name is Ted. I am a squid, and I play a lot of Cubivore. I love this game. This is a strange game. Let me move the camera a little bit. So I'm not using the Twitch Studio thingy-majig anymore. Right now I'm using OBS Studio, which has a lot more options than the Twitch stream. One of the options that I like is it gave me more control over these little squids. So I think these squids look a lot better this time. Uh, but but here we go. Oh, by the way, remember, howdy, no giraffes. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm excited every time. Come on. Okay, so the game is still going to be complicated. In the last session last week, we found the complicated rage cubivores and the clash cubivores. So I don't know if I can do this perfectly the first time. It's a game. It's just a game. Gotta be king of all these cubivores eventually. But so now I'm Chicky Ted the second, and there's Chicky Ted the first. He doesn't look nearly as happy as the pigs did. You know, the pigs seemed pretty happy that they just mated. The Chicky Ted just doesn't seem happy at all. So I'm gonna eat a pale gray one limb. You know, I gotta follow all the instructions perfectly. I am, you know, I don't need to do it perfectly, but I'm gonna do it perfectly. It's gonna happen. And I remember where most of these guys were, because I was just sort of running around this area. In my last session, I was running around this area sort of hopelessly because I had no idea where the stapler was. And when I watched that video again, just like while I was editing it, I saw that actually the stapler was right in front of me sometimes, and I missed it. It happens. You know, nothing's perfect. But I have a light right here. I've been trying to have more perfect lights, and so now I think I've got. Okay, so I'm gonna eat this one. So I've got one of those circle lights. I'll put up a picture, or maybe here. You know, I might as well just show you here. Look, it's a circular light. I don't know why these are standard for modeling and for people streaming stuffs, but okay. So I'm the stapler. You know, the stapler that we couldn't find last time? I'm him. Okay. I left some Clash yellows around here. Here we go. Okay, so... Ah, here we go. Is he the pickpocket? He's the pickpocket. Okay, so he's got some friends. His cronies are purple gray. They're Clash purple. They've got the purple, but they've also got gray, which means they're Clash purple. And I'm gonna try to eat specifically their gray. So I'm gonna take down his lackeys. But I'm gonna let the lackey go if he gives me gray instead of purple. He's trying to give me purple. I don't want purple. I'm gonna go for your friend. Ah! Okay. Let's see. I can do this. Maybe I can do this. I'm sure. Oh dear. Well, I say that I'm sure, and then I lose all my stomach. That's just the way the game is played. Let's say. Oh jeez! This guy followed me to the oasis. We're gonna have that kind of problem, aren't we? Okay. Alright, Mr. Crony. Mr. Purple Gray Crony. Oh dear. Man, the boss is really helping his cronies. Ouchies. It's okay, Mr. Boss. I don't, you know, you don't have to be here right now. I'm just going for your cronies. Alright. As soon as he tries to run away. Okay, so I'm gonna get Gray. I'm gonna rip it off. And now I'm gonna be, Rage. No, I'm gonna be... What am I? I've got some Rage color to me. I feel a bit more Rage, too. So it looks like I'm Rage or Clash Gray? Yeah, well, I mean, it says Clash here. Because I'm using, oh, jeez! Because I'm using OBS, I can actually use my mouse and it'll look where it is. Sheesh! I cannot talk. This guy is following me. But you can see I've got Clash. Clash, and the word Clash is Gray, so I'm Gray Clash. And now I'm gonna kill the pickpocket. If I can. You know, I wanna kill this. Ah! You know, I'll have to run this guy away from the oasis, but I think I can do that. Alright, this is... Oh dear. Man, I don't think any of the other beasts, so to speak, have run away from their home so far. There are 2 oases in this area? That's just so complicated. He was just doing a little spin right there. Okay, come on. Alright. Get back here. Oh, I'm tired. Where are you, mister? There you are. Okay. So, the walkthrough actually says I should leave the other crony. I should leave him around, because I want to, I don't like that sort of tornado thing he's doing. He must think that's so cool. Look at that. Oh, so I'm not allowed to attack him when he's doing the stupid tornado thing. I gotta... Oh, yeah, he made me confused. He confused me. It is confusing, I'll give him that. Oh, dear. Well, I'm sure I can... Is he going to the oasis? Does he know that the oasis helps him? Come on. Okay. So miss, and then I attack you. And maybe you start spinning around or something? Or you do something silly? Oh. So I have a list of things to talk about. The biggest thing on that list is that I'm publishing a book. I have a website, TED- Oh no! Don't go to the Oasis. Come on. I have a website, TED-Writes.com. I suppose you know of TED Talks. You know, that's pretty famous. But I'm Ted Writes. So maybe if people are searching for TED and they think maybe Ted Writes too, well, they find my website. Pickpocket Cubivore defeated. So one of the books, or one of the stories that I have on TED-Writes.com, I'm publishing it. So if someone doesn't know that they can get it for free on my website, they can pay me some money for it. I can mate. I have obtained the raw claw. The so I'm publishing a book. It's called Akayama Danje. It's a very strange book. I love the book. I spent a decent amount of time writing this book. And I'm sure that people are going to hate me for it. I think there are people who will love the book. But I also think that there are people who will hate me for the book. Okay, where's that crony? I need to eat the crony. Finish eating the crony. Here we go. There we go. So I'm gonna get his purple, and then I'm gonna turn into what his crony is. There we go. Yeah. So So I'm publishing a book. It's called Akiyama Danje, and I guess in the next episode, I'm going to talk more about it. Bye-bye. All right, we're going into the mysterious raw claw area. We conquered Paw Pasture. We're gonna mate. we're gonna mate, and we're gonna hope that we can be purple. We like being purple. Look at all these. Oh, we're king of a bunch of Cubivores. So in the last episode, I was talking about the book that I'm planning on publishing, Akiyama Danje. I'm self-publishing it. I didn't find a particular publisher who was like, oh, I gotta publish this book. So I'm doing this on my own, and that's okay. That's fine. Ak, a bird. I remember it all. From pig to bear, from bear to bird. So he definitely remembers his past lives. I gotta eat as many new colors as possible. You know what I'm saying. Mutate like mad. Every time I mutate, I gotta, something gets lost. Perhaps I'm losing myself. Okay, so we're getting into something maybe karmically interesting. Leaving myself behind, the more mutations I achieve, the wilder I get, and the wilderness starts to take control of me. Ack! Mack! Oh, countless colorful beasts, I shall eat and eat and eat and eat till at last the wilderness has strained my body from head to feet. I'm a little worried for little Chicky Ted here. Remember, the bad guys are the ones who ate the wilderness. And now Chicky Ted, is eating the wilderness. How come he's allowed to do it? How come he gets to be a protagonist and he gets to do the things that the bad guys are doing? What a game. Oh, we've been here before. This is exactly the same as we've seen before. So, in the last episode, I mentioned my book Akiyama Danje. It's a strange book. This is a strange game. I write strange books. It's a book about, there are a bunch of different ways to describe it, and I suppose it really depends on what kind of media you're interested in. If you like anime, and I like anime, so that's a good way to start talking about the book. One giant anime space robot blows up Earth, and another giant anime space robot picks up the debris and beats the first robot over the head with it while putting the planet back together. And that's the universe we live in. So we live in a giant anime space robot fight, and some normal characters in the normal portion of the book have to sort of figure out what the hell their reality is all about. And it turns out that they discover that they're in a giant space robot anime, and that's pretty cool. I like that. I'm gonna be the dark purple first date. That'll do. Oh geez, the next part of this game is complicated. This game is complicated, you know? Complicated. I'm a 3-limb beast. I grew a fang. So just like the other time we had 3 limbs. So I suppose the reason I'm talking about Akiyama Danje is because I'm publishing it. And I think one of the reasons I think people might hate me for it, and it's okay if people hate me for it, I'm totally fine with that, is because I'm using the book to express my explanation of the relationship between religion and fiction and formal logic. Oh look, I don't want to get that anyway. Let's see, what am I supposed to do? Wildebugs. I'm gonna eat some wildebugs. That doesn't require a whole lot of concentration. I can talk about Akiyama Danje while I'm getting some wildebugs. So the book presents a strange religion where people worship birds and eat centipedes to visit the afterlife. If you've watched my Talking Squid videos, you might have heard me say a couple times that I'm an atheist. But I'm a very pretentious atheist, and I'm pretentious about it in the opposite way you often expect atheists to be pretentious about it. I love learning about religions, and I love thinking about how these religions got to where they are. Recently I found a word called trans-theist, and that's exactly my brand of pretentiousness. Oh, gadzooks! Destruction. You know, you get what you get. There's a squid up there. Okay. So, trans-theism is used to describe Buddhism and Hinduism and Jainism, which are exactly the sort of Eastern philosophies that I'm clearly obsessed with. Where are all these wildebugs? I'm sure there are wildebugs around here. Okay, well, I can deal with it one step at a time. And one of the reasons I really like... Man, this requires concentration. I can't talk about trans-theism while I'm doing this. No, I'm sure I can. I think trans-theistic religions talk about God or gods or deities of all sorts, but they don't necessarily believe in them literally. I think a lot of these religions are about leaving the cycle of life. You know, you don't want to be in samsara anymore. You don't want to be resurrected or reincarnated all the time. Who was that? You're not a bug. Get out of here. Chickies? Chickies need bugs. I mean, come on. Let's see. Ow! Leave me alone. So these trans-theistic religions make gods with a specific purpose, and the purpose isn't necessarily supposing that their god literally exists. They'll often make up a god whose duty is to help you leave the cycle of reincarnation. And when someone leaves the cycle of reincarnation, well, there's no god there anymore. So these gods have a use, and once they're used, they're done. So Akiyama Danje is my trans-theistic religion, where I make up gods, and they're giant anime space robots, because those are obviously fictional. People are allowed to look at Akiyama Danje and wonder what kind of point about God that I'm trying to make, and that's the sort of thing that a lot of people might get angry about. Oh dear! Okay, I'm getting angry about these guys. These guys are just giving me a bad time. Let me leave. I'm running. I just want bugs. I only want to eat your bugs. I suppose I want to use Akiyama Danje to make certain people so angry that they're forced to look inside themselves. That's a lot of anger right there. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. I just had a bunch of tacos. Hiccup. So I want people to be so angry that they sort of have a moment of awakening where they say, wow, I'm really angry at this guy. That's a strange thing to think, isn't it? But I guess... Oh, okay, so we have some bugs. Eat these bugs. I got grizzlies? Sorry, I'm not a grizzly anymore. I'm a chickie. I'm Chickie Ted. And Chickie Ted. I mean, obviously, chickens need bugs. Right? I don't know a lot about chickens, but I'm sure they eat bugs. I'm sure a chicken would eat bugs. I mean, even if, animals that they call vegetarians, or herbivores, rather, for an animal, they can eat bugs anyway. They'll deal with it. Wilderness has returned to the land. So I wrote down a couple things on this list that are... I don't know if they inspired me to make this book that is going to make people hate me, but it's possible that they retroactively inspired me, where I was writing a book, and I was wondering if I was supposed to be writing this book, and then I found these people being really angry, and I was like, yeah, this is the right thing to do. One of those is something that I saw something I saw on 4chan, or someone left a comment. It's entirely possible that this person is just leaving bait. Like, they don't actually believe the stuff that they say. And that's okay. That's possible. People can do that. Oh, okay, so I gotta run over here. There are more bugs on the other side of this treadmill. Don't fall off now, cowboy. So this person left a comment saying something like they really hated it when people talk about a koan, a Zen koan, where a Zen master might ask their pupils if a tree falls with no one to hear it, does it make a sound? And, you know, Bart Simpson goes, oh, yeah, of course it does. And that's true. You know, if you were near the tree, that's what it would sound like. That's fine. But this guy, well, I suppose I should just start with the more philosophically relevant version of it, where, yeah, trees make sounds when they fall down. But to be perhaps more strictly scientifically accurate, we often talk as if sound is fluctuations in the air, and that's very close. But a fluctuation in the air isn't a sound. When fluctuations in the air vibrate your eardrums, then suddenly there's a whole brain here. You have a brain, by the way. You can pretend that the brain doesn't do anything and that it's all for show, but actually the brain does stuff. One of the things it does is make fluctuating air into something that we call noise. Which means that a tree falling, if no one hears it, then it didn't make any sound. Because the sound takes place entirely within our head. But this particular person leaving a comment, perhaps bait. I'm often baited, you know. I'm not a master baiter. He was so angry. He said that the only real thing to be done about this was he was supposed to find countless people who believed that this was a question worth asking. And he wanted to get them all in one spot. Oh, I got a hump. My hump is bigger. I have a big, big hump. This guy wants to take all these people who believe that question can be asked, and he wants to shoot them. And his reasoning for that was, well, they don't know if trees make noise. I'm going to show them that if I shoot you, then you feel it. You know, because that makes sense, right? Or does it? No, I don't really think it makes sense. I suppose seeing that person in a state of anger, uncontrollable anger, it helped me understand why people ask questions about the trees. And, you know, does a tree falling make sound? One of the reasons they ask those questions is because if you get so angry that you want to shoot people, I think that's a very easy way to tell that you might need some psychological help. And I don't mean religious psychological help. I don't want this person to find God. I think I want the person to have a therapist. And oh, look at that squid. He's flying around. Okay, well, I didn't point the right direction, but I think this person arriving at this level of anger about a tree, a hypothetical tree, and he wants to shoot real people because of a hypothetical tree, I think that's what the koan was for. It's to discover that part of yourself. Anyway, as I gaze at the setting sun, I think of the loves that I have won. 'Tis like a fairy tale. I've won so many females. I had 16 females last time. But a child, there is only one. But a child, there is only one. I suppose, okay, well, I mated with 16 females, and oh so many of them resulted in Cubivores. But then I picked one Cubivore. There's only one Chicky Ted. There's only one Chicky Ted, there's only one Piggy Ted, there's only one Grizzly Ted. What a game, what a game. Let's see. So another one of these things where I just saw someone who was really angry, and I sort of got the impression that this person's anger was demonstrating to me the value of a book which makes people so angry that they become introspective. Somewhere on Reddit, someone mentioned the subreddit. Man, I got the hiccups. Don't eat too many tacos, squidlings. You know, too many tacos just won't do. Someone on Reddit mentioned another subreddit called wholesome memes. I'm not a huge fan of that subreddit. It's a nice little subreddit. People post memes about happy animals or whatever. I need to use this oasis. Please don't hurt me. Okay, they're not gonna hurt me. Doesn't look like they know I'm here. Okay, they know I'm here. I'm running. Okay, I'm running. So it's a subreddit where people post memes, and you know, that's most subreddits. But some person said, "Gosh, are wholesome memes? That's cancerous. I wish it died in a fire." Those people are so toxically positive. I think I can understand the concept of toxic positivity, but I don't know if this was an actual illustration of toxic positivity. Someone... Oh, there we go. Oh, wildebugs. I want to get Rage Blue in the next little section. So I went around like a little loop. So these three sections, you go to one section, you go to another section, you go to another section. These three sections are all in a loop. Another person talking about our wholesome memes made the comparison to the Simpsons episode. It was a Treehouse of Horror episode where you get to see Ned Flanders put people in chairs, and they have hooks in their mouth that make them smile. They're forced to smile, and I can imagine that's a sort of toxic positivity. You know, I get that, but Ned Flanders' situation was toxic because you couldn't leave. Homer could leave because he had a time machine. I believe that was the episode I'm thinking of. But if you can just leave, then where is the toxicity coming from? You know? So I wanted to leave a comment asking these people if they'd considered ignoring our wholesome memes, but I didn't leave that comment because I don't need to I don't need to let their anger lead me somewhere. I'm an angry squid sometimes, so I need to be more conscious of my anger, and I want to use my anger to help other people become more conscious of their anger and leave their anger behind. I'm a pretentious little squid. That's Ted. So I'm going to start a new episode because I've been doing this episode for a while and I've been talking about a lot of random stuff. But I suppose I want to make Akiyama Danje into a book. Well, it is a book. It's being published. I've written the book. I want to make it a book which gets people really angry. I want to give people a bottle of water, and they put the water in their freezer to freeze the water. And then they take the water bottle out and they cut off all the plastic so they just have the ice. And then they carve that ice into a dagger. And then they stab themselves with the dagger. And for a while, I think they'll be thinking, gosh, this Ted guy, this pretentious squid, why is he making this thing to stab me? And then maybe they'll have a little insight, and they say, oh, wait a minute, I actually went through that whole process to make something with which I could stab myself. And not everyone is going to have that notion. Not everyone can have that realization. But anyone who goes through that whole process and doesn't have that realization, they're going to be showing a whole bunch of people about that realization. Other people won't even need to read the book. They'll be able to look at these people who are doing something terrible to themselves and blaming someone else, and then say, oh, wow, that must be the point of the book. And it is. That is the point of the book. I'm gonna close an episode, but I've thought of one more thing I want to say. In the book Akiyamadanji, if you're not sold on it, just because of the concept of giant anime space robots that are taking the place of God in a very pretentious way, in the final scene of the book, some of the final scenes of the book, there's a guy who has centipedes. He steals centipedes. And he shoves a centipede up his butt. He's not doing that to smuggle. He just shoves a centipede up his butt. And he gets really angry, and he blames someone else. He claims that someone else shoved the centipede up his butt. He was actually shoving the centipede up his butt in order to do an impression of someone else. He says, oh, I'm going to do an impression of you, and then he shoves the centipede up his butt. And then he says, why'd you make me shove this centipede up my butt? I want people to read that book and come to this realization like, oh dear, I've been shoving centipedes up my butt this whole time? It's a strange, strange book, and this is a strange, strange game, and I'm gonna keep playing it. So, bye-bye. By the way, I've got a Patreon at patreon.com/thinkster. I want to thank all these squidlings and elder squids. Thanks.